On this episode of BeckBuilt, we continue with the assembly and the painting of the Mopar 318 that's supposed to go into the 84 Ram Charger.
So, I got the oil pan off, and I got the oil pump off. It's over there on the ground. What I got here is this two-piece rear seal. Now, I'll be real honest with you, I have not done one of these on anything, especially not a Dodge 318, since I've been about 18 years old. I'm 37 now. So this is going to be real fun. We're going to go ahead and do the steps it takes to get this in. I'm going to go, hopefully my mechanic buddy gets home soon so I can go borrow his torque wrench, get it torqued, and we're going to hopefully tape off the engine, and we'll put the heads on, tape off the engine, and get it painted blue today. So let's see if that works out for us or not. It might just be a complete fail and a train wreck. I'm really nervous. Really nervous. Like, what if it's a complete waste of time? I can't even get this thing off of here. What the hell? Oh, I wanna, but it's not. Yeah, let me get a hammer. Alright, everything I've said previously about this engine in past videos, I take back. Look at those beautiful bearings. Oh my God, talking about getting lucky. Oh man, the crankshaft is in great shape and the bearings are in great shape. I couldn't ask for anything more than that. I actually have newfound confidence in this old ratty piece of crap. Alright, so we're going to try to peel this old seal out, get an idea how this is going to work. I thought this was a seal that you would, yes it is. This is a seal that you have to use like I think they call a sneaky Pete, so that you can slide the, well that thing is rock hard, so you can slide the seal in and out. The bottom one's real easy of course because you can just pry it out from where it is. This is my favorite tool in the world. Hook on one end, it looks like a dentist tool but like hardcore industrial, and it works for me so well and does all the best work. Look at this crap. It's a rope. It's a rope seal. Wow, that's old. That's real old. Look at that. What is this shit, made in Cuba? Alright, I got the new oil pump on. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. And it might have to come back off for me to torque. Yeah, it's going to have to come back off, so I'm not going to tighten it all the way right now in order for me to torque down this rear main bearing and seal properly. But it's going to work there for now, just for the purposes I need to get to. I'm just scrubbing a bunch of this stuff off for now. Might even be all of it. But giving this oil pan a scrub down and wash it out. I'm still going to take it off one more time and clean it one more time after I get things painted. So this is just to keep the paint off of the lower end of the motor, but I'm going to tape and cover this in plastic so it won't be affected, and I'll be able to get paint everywhere I need to get it. And then I'll just have to set it down on the ground and put the heads on, and we'll be ready to do some paint. Yeah! So my oil pan's on. It's only got 3 bolts on each side though, because what I'm going to do is put this piece of tape in there. And then I'm going to tighten it down on the tape and pull the tape over and give me something to tape the plastic to so I can cover the oil pan up, because it's actually in really good shape and it's nice and clean, so I'm going to keep it that way. So now that I have my oil pan wrapped and taped off so that it keeps the bottom end all nice and clean, free from paint, I'm going to set this down on the ground on that pan right there with that block of wood so I can go ahead and put my heads on, clean the surfaces, and make sure everything's good for that. Moving right along, I'd already done my heads. I just basically cleaned the hell out of them and made sure that the valves seated well. Did a water test, they were great. I got new valve seals in here. New head gaskets you can see over on that side, and I just placed this head into place. And what we're going to have to do now is Dodge, these old 318 Mopars require sealant on each one of the head bolts in order to seal out the oil from one and the water jacket from the other, because as far as I can tell they were real cheap in their design, and they made it to where all their holes and threads just go through into other chambers that they really didn't have to go through. I'm also noticing a lot of imperfections in their casting, which could cause a lot of future problems if you were to try to build a race car out of something of this sort. Other than that, everything's looking really good. So let's see if we can find our sealant. I'm gonna go ahead and wire brush this up real quick. Alright, we have our sealant in the threads of our head bolts since they go into water jackets. We need to set this to 75 pounds because that is what the sticker on the top of, sticker on the top of the, good Lord, I can't talk, valve cover said. So 75. Lock it down so it doesn't fall out of place. Alright, there we go. That's one head down. Let's do the other side. This one, right? There we go. Alright, so I got my heads torqued down. I made a mistake earlier and said 75 pounds. It's actually 95 pounds. It says so on the sticker right here. Anyways, so all I got left to do before I paint this hunk of junk up is to tape off my bolts and my exhaust manifolds. We'll go ahead and do one of those and then do some of that fancy fast forward. So I got everything taped off. What I'm going to do is I got it hanging for now. I'm going to go in and make sure I get the bottom half really well, and then I'm going to set it down on the ground, take the chain off, and I cleaned up the old intake enough so that when I put it on there, it won't dirty it up. Put the old intake on there, and then hit all around the top of the heads, and then so I've worked so hard to get to this point. So let's do this damn thing. Let's get her set down, get this intake on and this chain off. Alright, so here we go. I've peeled all the tape and I got it painted. So now what I need to do is pull the other engine out, the engine that's actually in this thing, pull that out and take all the donor parts I need off of it, finish it up. Like, I'm not using this timing cover. I gotta clean up the other timing cover and continue painting stuff and cleaning stuff. You'll see some more of that. This video is not over with yet. I just wanted to show off this blue paint, this old Ford blue on this 318 Mopar. It's whatever the customer wants, man. That's what they get. Alright, so first of all, I apologize if there's a lot of wind noise. Second of all, we got an issue with the rear main seal. It's a rope seal from Stone Ages. I was looking for the other piece of the rope seal so I can show you what it looks like. Google rope seal. Google, yeah, rope rear main seal. It's a terrible thing. It looks like it's something that somebody made in Cuba. It's like just basically a rope that's been soaked in tar or some sort of sticky resin, and it just shoves into a crevice and your crankshaft spins around in it. Well, they're really out of date, and I've got a rubber seal to go in. But the problem is that this thing has kind of fused itself one with the engine block. So I'm going to have to crack open my main bearings and actually drop my crankshaft down just a little bit so that I can get in there and actually start prying and try to pull this nasty little mother out. So wish me luck. So I got a gap now. You can see my gap there, and it's even all the way across. And I made a gap in the back. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the camera down for a minute, try to dig this out, and I'm just gonna have to explain to you my experience. I'm running out of memory. Alright, the most amazing thing just happened. Everything that everyone told me to do actually worked. I had an old school down the street said to loosen the main bearings and to tap the crank down a little bit. And then someone online, John, shout out to John up in, what's that, New York, outside of Buffalo? I could be wrong. He's like, started describing to me and sent me what a rope seal tool looks like. So I was just like, you know, why can't I just knock it loose and try a sheetrock screw and then pull it out? Look at that. The sheetrock screw. Stuck it in there and slid it right out like an old wet noodle. Now I get to put the new one in and get everything wrapped up. Alright, so since we have a 2-part seal, what we've got to do is put a little blue silicone RTV. And then you actually kind of see right where there I got some skin. You can see right where it needs to be almost. There's a dot here, a dot over there on the second half, and then a wedge piece to hit flat against the metal. So you want to make sure you get that spot really well. Same with over here. Make sure you get the spot really well. Alright. And then I'm just going to snug this on, and then I got to run to Byron's place and get his torque wrench because I still don't have one of my own. Still. Alright, well, we just got done torquing down the mains with the borrowed torque wrench. We'll go ahead and slap this new timing chain and gear on here and get these bolts back on the front here anyhow, because the other one isn't doing us any good except for slapping around and being all loosey-goosey. So, and I don't think I'm going to be using this bolt. I'm going to use the one off the other engine. Somebody did a number on this. That is not cool. Hopefully this will be alright. The threads do look alright. Anyways, I don't know if this is the correct one or not, to be honest with you, but the threads match. But I'm going to use the one off that engine instead. But until then, you slip this on. Make sure when you slip these timing gears on that your timing mark, the little dot right there is on the front, facing outward. Where you will have the time of your life. Literally. Same with the cam gear. But at this point I recommend putting the chain on it as well. The reason why you do that is because you can't put the chain on after the gears are on. It's not a bicycle. It's like nailed it. First try. I guess it's just lined up. Wow, I don't like that. Yeah, I really don't like that. There's no guarantee that your pump's gonna be working right. Alright, well, I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna tighten this down to torque specs. So I'm at a point where I'm going to install this gasket right here and get this timing cover on. and possibly get the oil pan gasket on. But let me lay all this nice goofy crap out first. Make sure everything's stuck in the place where it's got to be. Alright, I know towards the end of this video I was skipping a lot. I got my oil pan gasket in, my timing cover's in, my seal is in, my front seal. You saw I did my rear main earlier in the video. And I think we're going to go ahead and stop this one here and conclude that this episode of BeckBuilt. Now that I got the bottom end closed up and good to go, I can go ahead and get my roller lifter, my roller lifters and my connecting rods, and get the rocker arms back in there, torque them down, and start worrying about getting the intake. But I've got to still pull this engine out of here first and pull what I need off this engine in order to complete this one. So that concludes this episode. Love what you do, guys. Later.